So good evening, people. This is September the 9th of September, 2027. Welcome to my channel once more again. What I come to talk about is the cities and nations and continents that we Christians are part of, or integrated into. And particularly my city that I'm actually living in is called Sheffield. I do not know the principalities and powers that rule over this city. I've actually dreamt of some of them, but I do not have a name to give to any of them. So I do not know what kind of principality I'm actually dealing with. There was a time whereby I had a dream that I saw a giant coming out from a shop on Shoreham Street in Sheffield, near where the Sheffield United Stadium is. And this giant actually captured me and brought me over to and we actually translated over to another place whereby it was questioning the teachings. I was actually teaching the women in the city how to be powerful women, how to stand up to their husbands at home, how to not allow girls' boyfriends to bully them into doing things for them. So he was actually questioning me about what I was teaching them. And every time I tried to escape from this giant always came back and captured me and brought me before himself again. It was until I invoked the name of God that I was able to do like some kind of like matrix kind of thing, like to the giant, and I actually ran out and I woke up from the dream. So there's been some other dreams that I've actually had, like those dreams, but I do not know what name to give these kind of spirits that are plaguing the city of Sheffield at this time. So I do not know how to pray against them. Although I don't have those kind of dreams anymore, but these days I actually dream about seeing alien spacecraft actually landing in some certain areas and certain places in my life. So those are precisely the things I have to pray against if we want Christianity or if we want Jesus Christ to take over the seat of this city. You know, also as well, we also have MPs and politicians who have seats in the government that they are part of, and they also have spirits that influence them to make decisions for the country. Now, we live in a very lawful country, the UK, whereby people have to abide by the law, and it's actually kind of like a rule-based system, not necessarily a principle-based system. And the problem with me actually having a rules-based system is that there are some loopholes that people can take advantage of to be able to do fraud or be able to get away with this with society. So what we are wanting to do is to actually allow God's council to actually have a seat in the city of Sheffield, whereby he rules over the minds and hearts of men in the city instead of the enemy actually ruling over the hearts and minds of men. And we can also begin to start praying for some certain regions in Sheffield to change the way how they look and to change the culture, the negative culture that they are part of in the city as well. We can begin to pray about that. We as the church, we are a called out people where we've been drawn out of the darkness in the city, and we're called to intercede for our city. We're called to change the things in the city. We're called to actually establish God's kingdom into the city. So the important thing about all these kind of things is that um, we are most likely going to get prosecuted and in the process of us actually doing these things, because there are some people who come and resist us. There's some people who benefit from the breaking of the law in the city as well. They benefit from doing those things, so they come over and visit us. So I was actually living in a property in a region in the city where there was a lot of organized crime going on, and some of the people in the organized crime unit actually discerned that I was actually praying every day in my room in front of the city of Sheffield and was disrupting their businesses. So they always sent somebody to come out and actually spy on me to be able to see what I was actually doing so that they can have an occasion to probably kill me or to stop me in my tracks for doing these things. And I got a call to one of them, and I actually challenged him in front of everyone about what his agenda was. I think he ended up running away from the situation. I don't know what he saw, but he ended up running away. So we have this situation whereby we are trying to establish God's kingdom over in Sheffield, and we're also trying to bring about a revival to the city. And many people are maybe not thinking about revival a lot. Maybe they're just thinking about just getting on with life and not doing too much for the city. We also have to have these systems, Christian value systems, integrated into the city through our businesses, through politics. You can actually use the Seven Mountain Mandate to be able to understand that we can actually infiltrate these mountains in the city so that basically the city can have its peace and unity once more again in the UK. So I'm actually very, very open to this. Just before I close up, when I was actually in hospital, I had this dream whereby I was traveling in this car over to the north of England, M1. I believe I was going back to Sheffield because the hospital that I was in was not in Sheffield. I got stopped on a tracks by an army that was coming from the north of England, and they were taking over territories over the whole of England. They first had their air striking forces, and as the air striking forces actually began to be successful, they began to advance all over the UK. So I came out to the car and I ran over to the shoulders to ask them what was going on, and that was the end of my dream. It was kind of like a nightmare or something like that. That's how it looked like. But this actually illustrates the way how the spiritual realm actually works, the forces of good and evil actually works in our world today. Part of the world is actually given over to the King of Kings, that is Jesus Christ, the Prince of Peace, and part of the world is given over to the enemy, whereby the enemy actually rules in those places in the sense of man and all these kind of things. What are my requirements to be able to be a good representative of the good kingdom of Jesus Christ? I have to seek first his kingdom and seek first his kingdom and his righteousness. I know that all of these things that I'm actually looking for will be added on to me. I have to be able to love my neighbor. I have to be able to honor my father and mother. I have to be able to comply with the gospel of Jesus Christ. So I'm not able to comply with these things, then my prayers will not be effective. My prayers will not be strong for the city. So I'm actually talking to you guys right now. You guys that want revival in the city. How are you living your own lives? Are you living your lives according to the way how God has actually ordained you to live your life? Do you read books? Do you actually read books about the spiritual realm, spiritual intelligence? And are you also conducting yourself over on ground about the way how you should behave in the world as a Christian? So those are my questions to you as well. I'll actually put those questions at the end of the video. So thank you very much for listening to my video today. God bless you today. Bye-bye.